Hey, 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 everybody. Oh my goodness, it's been so long, guys. It's been so long, with good reason. And what I'm going to talk about tonight actually has a lot to do with that reason, okay? Because it's something that is not just for me, it's for all of us. And what I want to talk to you guys tonight about is knowing your season. Okay? What time is it? And when we talk about what time is it, I'm not talking about no clock, okay? I'm not talking about if it's 3 p.m., if it's 1 a.m. What I'm talking about is understanding universal timing. And I know that these are trying times for so many people, and there's so much going on, and people are experiencing some of the greatest trials, right, of their lives. And one thing that's going to be very vital in these times is understanding the season you are in. Okay. And that's universal alignment, universal seasons. And what I mean by that is there are seasons in your life to give, and there are seasons in your life to receive. At any point that you are operating from the wrong season, right? You are operating like you're in a giving season when you're really in a season that you need to receive, or vice versa. There will be sickness, okay? And what I mean by sickness is things won't be well. I don't necessarily mean physical sickness or physical ailments, although that could happen. But I am talking about wellness in terms of things in your life not being well. It could be financially, in some way, things are not going to be well with you because you're out of season, right? As above, so below, and nature is a very good representation of this. So when we think of giving out of season, think of planting seeds in the wintertime or in the snow. Is that seed going to grow? Is it going to be well with that seed? No, it's not. Okay. Or trying to harvest when it is not time for harvest. Okay. So what are you going to dig up? A stem? You're not going to have any vegetables. You're not going to have any fruit. So in these times, it's very vital that we understand the season that we're in. And for many of you, a lot of the turmoil that you're going through is because you're operating as if you are in a different season than the season you're actually in. When it is time to give and you are taking, okay, there's consequences to operating in the wrong season. And you guys have to excuse me a little bit with my heavy breathing. I've had bronchitis, okay? And yeah, so I've had that going on. But if you are giving, I'm going to do both ways. If you are giving when it's time to receive, okay, the consequence of that is you are going to be depleted. So you lose any time you are operating in the wrong season. So if any of you have been experiencing loss, okay, you have to understand you're operating in the wrong season. And the loss that comes from giving when it's time to receive, you can lose yourself. You can lose your health, your mental stability, your emotional stability, your inner peace. That's the consequence because you're steady giving when it's time to receive. It's not the season for giving. Okay? You don't have it to give. So just imagine, as above, so below, right? We're talking about this in the spiritual context, but you can put it in the physical context. It is no different than if you were, say, for instance, you got $1,000 in your bank account. How you out here giving away $10,000? You see how you're going to be in a negative, you're going to lose everything? It's the same thing. You don't have it to give. You have to know when you don't have it to give. And you're not wrong when you're not giving what you don't have to give. If I have $1,000 and you need $10,000 and I tell you no, I am not wrong for telling you no. Nobody is wrong for not giving what they don't have to give. And you're not wrong for not giving what you don't have to give. So you have to find the past wounds, programming, things like that that makes you think that you're obligated to give in your receiving season. Okay? Because there is no money to give if you don't make money. Right? So if you don't receive, there is nothing to give, and there's nothing virtuous about giving when you have nothing to receive. Would you think it's virtuous? Imagine someone goes on a talk show, right? And they're on the talk show talking about how in debt they are. This person is $1 million in debt, right? All from what they didn't have to give. Would you admire that truly? A part of you in your mind is like, you a fool. Okay, you don't have $1 million to give away. And then now you stressed out. Your life is gone down. You're not able to take care of your own children, which you have a spiritual obligation to. This is not virtuous. You have people that you truly are obligated to, but you out here giving to other people. And when you don't have it to give. See, these are concepts that are not really looked at. And a lot of people are suffering from some of the most basic things. And this is one of them. In your giving season, right? When it's time to give, but here you are taking. You want more and more. You're being greedy. Okay? There's a spiritual implication behind operating in the wrong season. And it has a consequence. If I'm out here, it's my giving season, and the universe is expecting giving out of me, but I'm taking. I'm steady taking. There's a Bible verse that has something where it says something like, you'll lose what you'll lose what you think you have. Next thing you know, see, when you don't operate in season and you're giving, you're not giving when it's time to give. You want to keep taking. The universe will find a way to take from you anyway. Now, you could have been giving to the people that you love, the people that you care about, the people who you have an obligation to, or, the people that are on your heart and spirit to give to. But no, you didn't want to give. You want to be greedy. You want to keep taking in your giving season. And then now your car broke down. The roof is leaking. You got all these other things that's going to come and take from you anyway. Or because it ain't just money. We're using that as a, just for these examples, because I'm trying to show the as above, so below. As it is in the spirit, so it is in the physical. But this can happen in energy. It can happen in more ways than financially. Giving is not just financially. Okay. Now you don't want to give of your spirit and of yourself and of your wisdom and of all the things that you've lived to the people around you that need it. And then here comes something that sucks that out of you, sucks all your energy out of you. Now you ain't even got it to talk to nobody, but you didn't plant anything with it. You didn't do anything beneficial with that energy. It just got taken from you because you refused to give. Okay, so these are things that you really need to think about, because you don't want to suffer. Life is up and down. We're going to have our ups and downs, but you don't want to suffer unnecessarily simply because you refuse to recognize and pay attention to what season you're in and operate accordingly. So when people wonder where I've been, okay, it was my receiving season. If you notice, I had been on YouTube giving to thousands of people for 6 years straight. At some point, my receiving season was going to come. And because I've built clientele, and because I get such good results with people, I have a lot of referrals. So I don't have to get on YouTube and say, oh, book coaching with me. People do that themselves because of the results that they're getting. People get results with me that they couldn't get in 15 years of therapy. And they got it with me working 1 year. Okay, so there's referrals that come. And so my thing was this, okay, this is my receiving season. I'm not going to drop all my clients and people that see when we get into a relationship, in a coaching relationship, I am spiritually obligated to my clients, to the people that have paid money. We've made an exchange. They've paid money for me to serve them. And I have a spiritual obligation to them. So I can't drop them like, oh, well, y'all, this is my receiving season. You can't do that. So what I do is I take away the things, because that's not going to hurt me. In my receiving season, it's not going to hurt me to continue to serve my clients. But what is going to hurt me is just to continue to pour out and pour out and pour out. It wasn't the time. Okay. I have to take in, how do I have something to come to you guys and give? Now, see, if I were to keep doing that, that would be some old ego stuff or some money stuff where I'm coming on here continuing to give in my receiving season because I want the money, or I'm going to continue to come on here and give him, money from, new clients and new people coming to know me, or I'm going to continue to give in my receiving season out of ego, right? Because I want to feel needed. I need to be needed. I don't need to be needed. Okay. I understand that, just as I am taken care of the universe, I am loved of the universe. So is everybody else. Okay. If they don't have me, it's not the end of the world. Something will come along and give to them what they need. Okay, so my service is not out of a place of I need to feel big and good about myself, so let me keep giving even when it's time for me to receive. I have to take in from life, from the universe, from, whatever sources is being provided to me to feel myself. And then comes the season of giving, and I put out all that I've learned, that I've obtained, that I've built, and I share that with others. Through the channels, so that's where I've been. It's been my receiving season. And, initially I did make the mistake of continuing to give, and it was just having this really depleting feeling and things like that, which, sometimes that happens. It takes you a minute to recognize, wait a minute, this ain't my season. So if I would have continued to just pour out and pour out and pour out and pour out, you don't get the benefit of that. You take a loss every time you continue to operate out of season. So I've been taking that time to build for this next season. Everything that I've put out thus far was for a time. It was for certain people. It was for what was needed at that time. But life is moving on. Life is ever evolving. Things are ever changing, right? So I'm moving along with that. And so the content that is coming next is different from the content that was before, because life is different. The world is different. People are different. The world has been moving on, and so am I. Okay. But I had to take in what the universe had for me. So many messages, synchronicities, all kinds of things that have been going on in this time to prepare me and to give to me what I have to give. So like I said, as above, so below. In order to have the financial resources to give, you got to have the financial resources, right? How you going to have a soup kitchen and you can't even afford no soup? And not that this is about money. What I'm saying is, as above, so below. It's the same type of concept. You need the spiritual wealth. You need the spiritual abundance, right? And there's a time that you have to receive that. There's a time you got to go out and make your money. There's a time where I have to go out and make my spiritual abundance, which means I may have to shut things off, and I may have to meditate. I may have to go through private experiences internally within myself to gain that abundance. And then you can come out wealthy and have something to share, whether you're wealthy spiritually, which is the best place to be wealthy. Store your riches up in heaven, as they say, right? Store your riches up in your soul. But there's nothing wrong with financial, monetary abundance either. It's just that is another level. And there's such a preparation that you want to have spiritually to be able to deal with that I never recommend. That's where you look and where you start. And you don't want to use your monetary abundance to represent your soul. Let your soul represent your monetary abundance, right? So if my soul is broke, I want my pockets broke. Okay, if my soul is abundant, I want my pockets abundant. Not the other way around, where my bank account is abundant, so then I feel my soul is abundant. Or my bank account is broke, so now I think I'm broke. That's backwards. Okay, that'll get you off. You want to make sure that you're using your soul, your spirit, as the representation of what your wealth and your abundance is. You know, do I have it in my soul to give? Do I have it in my spirit to give? Right? Do I have it? Do I have that abundance within me that I can share? And then that tells me whether I'm abundant or not. And then my finances will represent that. Okay. So what I've done is I took the time to just invest in taking in what the universe had for me. But then lately it's been the universe kind of pushing me like, okay, it's time to start putting some of this out. And that's why I decided tonight was the night. I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and start the flow of energy in the other direction and begin to share and put out to you guys from my own gainings, my own earnings, my own winnings, to share that with, all of you. So it all goes together. It all ties in together with knowing the season that you're in and operating accordingly. I can't stress it enough. Operate accordingly and don't be apologetic. If you don't have it to give, don't be out here trying to give in your receiving season. You don't have it. You look like a fool. You're taking out loans to lend people money. That's what you're doing when you do that. You're taking out loans to lend people money. And don't be out here taking when it's time to give. Release that stinginess. I'm talking to you freeloaders. People like that. If you come on, you got to be real with yourself. You got that freeloading spirit. That's what a freeloading spirit is. It ain't nothing but being in the energy of consistently taking and never shifting to the energy of giving, but what you'll find is a freeloader struggles. Okay. For your freeloader struggle, honey. So these are just things that, I wanted to share with you guys. I love you all. I know that many of you have missed me that don't work with me privately. I did continue, and as always, I always continue with my personal clients. And in my receiving seasons, those are the only people that, I continue to pour into and work with, because we have a deeper agreement. On a spiritual level, that is an agreement when you sign up with me for coaching. And I have a spiritual responsibility to your growth and your spiritual well-being. Right? So I can't abandon that just because it's my receiving season. So that is that, my loves. I really hope that it has helped you. If you are struggling in this time, as many, many, many are, please take notice and take time to think about, do I really have it to give? What season am I truly in? Am I supposed to be out here? Have I been, sitting and taking in for so long, and there's people around me that need, and I'm not giving? I'm not giving advice to my kids. Come on now. Do y'all got kids that's sitting out needing to hear from you on their lives, and you sitting up here worried about other things, and, you want to take some more. You out here looking for love, and you got somebody that's sitting there needing your guidance, and you've learned a lot. You done suffered a lot in your life. Go give that baby some guidance. Go give your energy to the people around you that are struggling in life. If you got a teenage daughter getting bullied in high school and you don't even know about it, and you out here trying to look for love because you steady trying to take, you want to take more energy in for yourself. But what about what you've already obtained? Yeah, you may not have obtained love, but you've obtained some things through the wisdom of the things that you've already gone through. And who are you contributing that to? Who are you sharing with what you have gained instead of being worried about how much more you can gain and being greedy? What are you doing with what you've already gained? Yeah, you may not be, because I'm going to tell you the truth. If you ain't got love going in your own life, you're not there. That ain't your advice, honey. That ain't what you need to be helping nobody with. But you got something. Every single person within the sound of my voice, you got something. You got something that you know about. You got something that you've gained and obtained. And there are people around you who need it. You know, some of you got a nephew out here acting a fool and act like he don't got no sense and don't seem like he have no God. Why aren't you telling him when some of the things he's doing you already know about? You dated a dude just like that. Or you was a dude just like that. Give in your giving season. So some of you can end your suffering this week by figuring out what season you're in and moving accordingly. And however spirit, your soul is guiding you to do that. It's time to give if it's time to give. And when it's time to receive, stop apologizing for saying no. Stop apologizing for saying no. Because you look like a fool. That's somebody who is sitting up here literally apologizing because they won't take out a loan to give you money they don't got. Would you do that if somebody came to you and said, girl, you got I really need $10,000. I'm about to lose my house. I can't feed my kids. The dog died. Just, got a whole story. And you got $700 in your account. And you say to them, I don't have $10,000. I wish I did. My sister, I love you and I wish I had it, but I don't have it. Would you sit around and apologize? Would you feel bad? So why are you feeling bad when you don't have it to give? People wanting and pulling on your energy and want this from you and you ain't got it to give. Why are you apologizing? You don't have it. It's time to go out there and build it up. And every person who has it to give, let's as above, so below. And let's use money because money is a physical thing. So let's talk about it. A person who has money to give, they had receiving seasons. They've had times that they had to do what they had to do to build that money, to have it to give. It's the same way spiritually. You have to go into your receiving season and multiply what you've gained, take in from the universe, from the people that the universe is telling you to gain from mentors, from, people that you admire. You got all these places that you have to take in before you have to give. So when you don't have it to give, don't apologize. There's nothing to be sorry for saying no. It is your receiving season. It's time for you to be able to recognize and see another thing you do when you continue to give when it's your receiving season, you can't receive. So the people that come into your life to contribute to you, you turning them away and you going around chasing people who ain't going to give you nothing. You can't even recognize the people who are coming to contribute to you in your receiving season because you're not in the right energy. And now you missing out. Then you sitting around complaining about everybody takers. Are they? Or have you blocked out the givers from your energy field because you refuse to be in a receiving energy and you want to stay in a giving energy in a time when it is not time for that? It's time for you to receive. So you the reason ain't no givers around you. You the reason everybody using you and taking from you. Because you want to be in that season. Just as the world could not thrive and flourish if we were in the wrong seasons and we switched things up. We started planting our seeds in the winter time. Trying to harvest them in the fall or in the spring. What do you think would happen? We'd starve to death. If we started dealing with our agriculture in the way that we're dealing with our souls, we would starve to death. So do you wonder why so many souls are starving? Okay? So I love you guys. It's really good to put something out and be able to give from the things that I've taken in over my receiving season. I wish all of you nothing but the best. Prosperity, abundance, love, healing, cleansing, water washing down just over your soul to rinse away everything that's weighed you down, everything that has been weighing on you and holding you and shackling you. I wish you freedom in your soul, freedom in your spirit. Okay. So that is that, my dears. And I'll tell you right now, some of you that need to be given, you can give by sharing these videos. Okay. You can give to others. You can give them. I've been giving to y'all. You can give and share a video. Okay. I love y'all. I'm being silly, but I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.